aficionados of the finer arts. I'm Nick, and I'm here to serve your comic book needs.
And I'm Phil, and I got the 411 on video games, animation, and motor oil. From what makes Batman Forever, to what makes the Tick-Tick, to what makes the STP.
Welcome to the anti-gravity room.
Now, summertime is not a time for gravity, so the anti-gravity room will be scoping cool things to do this summer.
Comics,
games,
movies,
everything bizarre, man. The wild, the weird, the wonderful.
We have got it all.
Nick's got an interview with the legendary comic book artist, Neil Adams, creator of Nighthawk.
And Phil will be pushing the envelope on some of his favorite video and computer games.
But first, a look at one thing that's going to be a surefire hit this summer, Batman Forever.
This time, Batman is played by Val Kilmer, not Michael Keaton. And the villains? Well, Tommy Lee Jones is playing Two-Face, and Jim Carrey is playing the Riddler. Lots of changes.
Yeah, so will Batman blast this summer or what?
Psh, I don't know. Let's find out.
It's a lovely, quiet day here in Gotham, folks. Well, maybe not. I guess I'll try out this Batman ride. I've got a couple of buds here who I'm gonna ride with.
This is the Batman roller coaster ride at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey.
Right, now, what have you all heard about this Batman ride?
I heard a lot of people threw up.
A lot of loops, turns, and scary. Very exciting.
I hope to get thrilled, really thrilled.
I heard it twists your stomach around.
Well, that sounds all good. Now, are you scared?
No?
No. A little bit.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Ah, seems the children are more manly than the men. You know, I've got a little secret for you. I don't think they know, but this is like my first roller coaster ride, so if I like hurl on any of you or whatever, just play it off, okay? Cool. Let's go.
Oh, God, I hope this works.
Send help!
I leave everything to my mom and dad. Ever feel like you're gonna die? Woo! Just like it. I am just in some kind of daze right now, so I'm gonna hand it over to my buds who rode with me. Knowing of the Batman series, which would you say made you feel more like the Caped Crusader?
Well, when we did the loop-a-loop upside down a couple of times, I thought I was hurling through the air.
Was that over the top?
I almost lost my sneakers on that loop.
Which was scarier to you guys, the movie series of Batman or the ride?
The ride, definitely. The ride just pulled my face right back.
Okay, if this ride is an indicator of what the movies are gonna be like, what would you say that means? Would you see the movie?
If the Bat wants to play, we'll play.
Yes, very much.
Yes, I would.
Now, why?
Why would I see the movie? If there's anything as close to what we just experienced, oh, that movie's gonna be something. It's gonna be something else.
Dark Knight always lets me take her for a spin while I'm in Gotham.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
To sum up, the movie's about 2 hours. The ride, it's about 2 minutes. In the ride, you're afraid to look. In the movie, you're afraid not to look. In the movie, you're gonna wanna be Batman.
Going down.
And the ride, you're gonna wanna hurl. Evildoers beware! Anti-gravity boy!
better, the movie or the ride?
Well, I hope the movie's gonna be better, because the ride was a real headacher.
Now, the new Batman movie co-stars Robin, the Boy Wonder. Man, he doesn't look like the Robin I remember.
You must be remembering him from the 1943 movie version.
Hey, easy, I'm not that old.
This Robin is played by Chris O'Donnell. He's been revamped for the 90s.
So far, Batman's had 4 sidekicks named Robin. Robin made his first appearance in Detective Comics number 38 in 1940. He was the first teen sidekick, and he livened up Batman's adventures.
It also gave the writers a neat way to explain what Batman was thinking, without having him talk to himself. Sort of like Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Now, originally, Robin's alias was Dick Grayson. When he became too old to be known as the Boy Wonder, he hung up his tights and became Nightwing. And as Nightwing, he rejoined the Teen Titans in 1987.
But the next Robin was killed.
Yeah, the second Robin, Jason Todd, he appeared in 1987, but readers didn't like him very much, so 2 years later, in the first interactive comic book ever, readers were asked to vote on his fate by dialing a 1-900 number. One number for life, one number for death. It was a close call, with death winning by just 72 votes.
Dialing for death, what a concept.
The current Robin, the third Robin, Tim Drake, got the complete Robin makeover. No more tights and a cool black cape.
Yeah, but my favorite Robin is the one from Frank Miller's futuristic Dark Knight. A babe named Carrie Kelly. That's right, Robin was a girl.
Well, I know who my favorite Robin is.
Actually, they were all cool, but Dick Grayson kicks everybody's butt.
I'm telling you, Nick, I would have been the coolest Kung Fu Robin.
Get over it, Phil.
And whether you're just getting into comic books or you've been reading them since 1938, you need to buy them somewhere.
You can get your comics at a variety store, or even by mail order. But lots of fans go to a comic specialty store.
Where should you buy your comic books this summer? Well, I went to a traditional comic book store, and Nick hit them all.
What's a guy like me doing in a place like this? I mean, I'm a comic fan, a collector. For years, I've been buying my comics from dark little stores that are hidden away, almost secret, with names like Big Apple and Forbidden Planet. Now, would I come to a mall to buy comics? Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, let's find out. Hey, what's up? We're here at Anti-Gravity Room with Tim from Comic Attitudes. This is a comic store in a mall. What do you think your customers like most about this store?
I think probably the thing that they like the most right away is the way it looks. They really enjoy the neon.
Oh my God, it's X-Men undies!
We're doing very well with the brand new Sovereign 7.
Yes, dinnerware. Now you can eat with the X-Men without even having to smell Wolverine.
In the non-comic area, we're probably doing exceptionally well with Pogs. I don't know if you know what they are.
Never point a loaded gun at someone unless you've been properly introduced. Happy birthday, Mom! Man, they got great comics here, including The Power of Shazam #4. If you're looking for something you can read over and over again this summer, this is the one. It's got spectacular art by Jerry Ordway, who's done lots of Superman stuff, as you can see. And in this issue, you find out a secret about Shazam's sister.
For years, this is the kind of place we've been buying our comic books. Dragon Lady Comic Books in Toronto. They're heavy on the back issues, as well as they have new issues. Let's go check it out. Dust from when comic books only cost a dime. #1 does not exactly mean collectability, but this #1 we'll have to see because it is DC Sovereign 7 with X-Men guy. Is that right? Yeah. X-Men guy, Chris Claremont teaming up with Dwayne Turner, Sovereign 7. Now, I want you to look at something here. Now, when you open it up, it smells like Image. It looks like Image, but it does read like Chris Claremont. One interesting thing for this comic book, though, is the fact that the characters in Sovereign 7 apparently will be mixing in with the regular DC guys, Batman, Superman, so that'll be really interesting to see. You never know what you'll find in an old comic book store. Old comics.
We're gonna take a quick break, but hey, stay tuned, because next, Phil will be reviewing some cool video games and special effects.
And Nick will introduce you to comic book legend extraordinaire Neil Adams. Hey, no surfing, yo. All right, welcome back to the Anti-Gravity Room. I'm Phil.
And I'm Nick.
And more comics are jumping to the big screen this summer. One is Casper the Friendly Ghost. And here's how Casper looked in the 1950s TV version.
Pardon me. That's no way for a gentleman to treat a lady.
Now, this is what he looks like in 1995. 40 years makes a big difference.
You should see what 40 years did to my dad.
Hi.
Oh, man.
Now, for years, Harvey Comics, the company that publishes Casper, was the publisher that people forgot about. Basically, the Rodney Dangerfield of comic books.
Yeah, they got no respect. But now with 2 feature-length films out, Casper the Friendly Ghost and Richie Rich, Harvey is a hot property.
So who's next for a movie makeover? Spooky?
A little kid who smokes a cigar? I think not. How about Huey, baby?
Nah, too many diaper changes, man. Little Dot?
Too neurotic with all those dots. How about Wendy Witch?
Only if they cast Heather Locklear.
You gotta admit, Harvey Comics has come a long way since the original Casper cartoons. You think the first guy who drew Casper, Joe Oriolo, would have ever thought it would get this sophisticated?
Well, most great ideas start with one person, an artist. And one guy who's created cool stuff his whole career is Neil Adams. Neil's highly realistic art style has a huge influence on many young comic artists, notably those Image dudes.
Yeah.
Now, Nick caught up with a man who put the dark back into the dark night at his New York studio.
All right, we're here in the Anti-Gravity Room, here with legendary comic artist and writer Neil Adams. He's sipping his coffee, folks. It's such an honor. He's been known for creating toys, revitalizing and rejuvenating the Batman to give him his darker side, creating all kinds of characters, and he's here with us now. So what's up, Neil?
What's up is that we're still drawing comic books.
Over your career, you've done mostly superhero books. Is there a reason for that, or?
I don't really do superhero books. If you think about it, I became famous, excuse me.
Doesn't matter, you're famous.
Infamous.
Everybody knows.
I became infamous
Okay.
for putting a little bit of reality back into Batman. Well, Batman, to all intents and purposes, is not a superhero. He's a guy whose parents were killed, who is very strong because he works out. He's very intelligent because he was born intelligent, but he made himself learned. And he goes out and he catches criminals. He happens to do that. He could go out and do something else. I did the X-Men. In fact, when I
saved the X-Men.
Well, I saved the X-Men from extinction. It is true that I did that. I went to see Stan Lee up at Marvel, and Stan wanted to know what book I wanted to work on. I said, well, Stan, what's your worst-selling title? And Stan said, well, my worst-selling title is the X-Men. We're going to cancel it. I said, well, let me work on the X-Men. And Stan said, well, why do you want to work on the X-Men? I said, Stan, because basically you'll leave me alone if I work on the X-Men. So Stan said, well, that's true. I will leave you alone. And then we're going to cancel the book. 10 or 12 issues later, they did cancel the book. But ever since then, the artists that would come to Marvel wanted to draw the X-Men. And from that point on, they reinstated the X-Men because they discovered that the sales actually did rise and that artists wanted to draw the X-Men.
Now, we have one more little challenge for you here. You can say no if you want. Our show is called The Anti-Gravity Room, and we were just wondering what your impressions of an anti-gravity man might be, if you could, like, draw something up really quick.
Well, I'm not used to doing this because I don't draw anymore. I'm just kidding.
Ah, yeah.
But you happen to have a pad of paper here.
Ah, yes. So convenient.
And I'm going to draw
Well,
an anti-gravity man.
I am honored.
Okay?
Guess with practice you can do this really fast, huh?
With practice, 35 years or so. Knock it out.
Now, can you kind of explain, like, how you're doing, you know, what you're doing exactly?
You know, there is a problem with an anti-gravity room. The problem with an anti-gravity room is there's no gravity. And what's likely to happen when you go into an anti-gravity room? You're liable to take a step can end up on the ceiling.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Neil.
My pleasure.
Man, I really loved his Batman comics, and his X-Men were totally cool, too.
Yeah, he's really great. And this summer you can check out his new stuff, Nighthawk, Samurai, and Valeria the She-Bat. This guy really rocks.
We've got to take a quick break, but we will be right back, and I'll be reviewing my favorite video games, and we'll be taking a visit to Joe's apartment.
Hey, Phil, is that a bug on your shirt?
Oh, thanks. Lunch.
Just a little preview of what's inside Joe's apartment.
Nothing wrong. All right, welcome back to the Anti-Gravity Room, your preview of cool things to do this summer. I'm here with Nick, our comic book connoisseur.
And he's Phil, our video game guru.
That's right, and this summer I'm going for the high score on my favorite video games. Ooh. Oh. Okay, welcome to the Anti-Gravity Boardroom. Now, no boardroom would be a boardroom without video games. Now, come on! Check this out, I'm playing Road Rash, one of the killer motorcycle racing games. And this is the version that's on 3DO. Great thing about this game is you can choose where to take your superbike, but if you're man enough, you take Pacific Highway. 2 lanes, a cliff, it's the best. Look out! Don't! See, because you guys are trying to get me to talk and I can't concentrate. Ooh, hit a cow! Road Rash. Now, Road Rash isn't a new game. It's been out for a while, but it's still one of my favorite games to play on Panasonic 3DO.
We know you're all interested in special effects. Well, there was a really great short film on MTV called Joe's Apartment.
Welcome to Joe's apartment. It's our apartment too. You said it. We've been around for 100 million years and we'll be here long after you. There's lots of food, there's lots of fun. Joe takes care of me. Welcome everybody, Joe's apartment. Mo, it's your place to be.
Joe's roommates have been bugging him, so Joe makes a deal with them when he invites his girlfriend over to the apartment. They're currently filming the full-length feature film based on Joe's apartment in New York. Where else? What's up? We're here with John Payson, the director of the new feature film, Joe's Apartment. Now, how did you come up with this idea? I mean, the dude lives in a house where the roaches, like, help him out. I mean...
Well, I live in an apartment that's a lot like Joe's. I live in the East Village, and I have lots of roaches in my apartment.
I have a date tonight. So I want you guys to stay out of sight.
I guess the only thing that's different than a regular apartment is that the roaches actually talk. You know, they don't really in real life, at least not to me, but they do in this movie. We got some really big roaches in this movie. We've got some roaches from Trinidad, which are like that big. And they,
My God!
Hey, go for it, Joe.
Now, even in, like, you know, the Batman Returns film, there was one penguin in there, like 2 or 3, and animal rights groups got all in a fuss about stuff. Are they bothering you with roaches?
We've been treating the roaches with kid gloves. There have been no roaches hurt or killed as part of the production.
Now, how about these roaches? I mean, these guys are talented people. Are they up for Oscars? Can they get those, or what's the deal?
Well, I hope so. I think we've probably got a lock on the Best Supporting Insect category.
You know, roaches are considered a delicacy in many countries. You know, would you...
They are? I wasn't aware of that.
Really? Now, would you like a chocolate?
Oh, those look good.
They are yummy. I've had them, I've been eating them all day. They're just, Well, thank you very much for being on the Anti-Gravity Room. And,
thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. All you at home, check out the Roach movie. It's Joe's apartment. It kicks butt.
It's a mess, but Joe's the best. Joe's apartment, our home sweet home. Hey!
They shot at my apartment, they wouldn't need special effects. All right, Nick, we've ridden the Batman ride, stocked up on our comic books, picked up video games. What else are we going to do this summer?
Well, I don't know, Phil, but I'm going to run, not walk away from that Power Rangers flick.
Not a Power Rangers fan?
Afraid not. I know they're really popular and kids love them, but I just can't help but thinking they're cheesy and, you know, the acting is pathetic.
Okay, I'll give you one reason to watch that Power Rangers film. Kimberly the Pink Ranger.
Well, anyway, I'm Nick.
And I'm Phil.
And I'll see you next time on the Anti-Gravity Room.
A young girl's blood holds the key to immortality, but only for those who are prepared to kill to possess it. Now there's a new color for terror, Deep Red, a Sci-Fi Channel Pictures original, today at 4 p.m., 1 Pacific. Now Martin Landau stars in Space 1999 next.